Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Oldson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here today because I want to talk about something that I think is genuinely one of the most powerful shifts you can make, not just in how you approach weight loss, but in how you think about yourself. It starts with a question. What is your actual goal? If you said, lose 20 pounds or fit back into my jeans or get my cholesterol down, those are all legitimate things to want. But today I want to make the case that those goals might be working against you, not because they're wrong, but because they're aimed at the wrong thing. Here's what I mean. James Clear, who wrote the best-selling book, Atomic Habits, makes a distinction that stopped me in my tracks the first time I read it. He says the goal isn't to read a book, the goal is to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a marathon, the goal is to become a runner. His point is that the ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is because it becomes part of your identity. Here's the way you might tap into this approach. The goal isn't to follow a diet. The goal is to become someone who makes healthy food choices, a healthy eater. That's a completely different thing. When your goal is an outcome, a number on the scale, a dress size, a finish line, you're motivated by the gap between where you are today and where you want to be. The moment you reach it, the motivation disappears. Or worse, you don't reach it and you decide the whole thing was a failure. Either way, there's nothing holding the behavior in place because the behavior was never really yours. It was just a strategy you were trying for a while to reach some arbitrary goal. When you shift to an identity, when you become someone who prioritizes her health, the behavior flows naturally from who you are. It's like an anchor. If you believe you're a healthy person, avoiding junk food feels obvious, not restrictive. You're not white-knuckling it. You're just being yourself. Now, I want to bring in another voice here because this idea connects beautifully to research by Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, who we've talked about before. In her book, Mindset, Dweck talks about the difference between a fixed mindset, where you believe your abilities are set in stone, and a growth mindset, where you believe you can develop and change through effort. One of her most memorable lines is simply this: becoming is better than being. I love that for us. We're not trying to be a certain weight. We are trying to become healthier people. That process never ends. And that's actually a gift because it means there's no pass-fail moment. There's just the direction you're moving in over time, which doesn't have to be perfectly linear. So how does the identity shift actually happen? Because you can't just decide to be a different person and wake up transformed. It's more gradual than that, and it works through what James Clear calls casting votes. He says that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every time you choose the plant-based green bowl or the fish with broccoli on the side, that's a vote for being a healthy eater. Every time you take a 10-minute walk, that's a vote for being an active person. Every time you say no to the afternoon vending machine run, that's a vote. The votes accumulate, and slowly your self-image updates to match your behavior. Before we talk more about the research on actionable ways to change your identity, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Oldson, physician and founder of the new Weight Loss Strategy Lab. While the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Program essence stays the same, our new name better reflects what we actually do together in the program. Beyond coaching, at the Weight Loss Strategy Lab, We teach, experiment, reflect, and explore the latest science around weight loss, longevity, habit change, and health. I bring all of this to my live weekly strategy sessions on Zoom alongside our signature courses that you can access at your convenience within the program. The biggest shift is in mindset. In the strategy lab, we approach weight loss like scientists, not like judges. When you get off track, and we all do, there's no judgment. Instead, we help you dissect what happened, find the learning, and create a better hypothesis for next time. For now, you can still find the Weight Loss Strategy Lab men's and women's programs at our original site, smartweightlosscoaching.com. And we're back. BJ Fogg, a Stanford researcher and author of the best-selling book Tiny Habits, talks about this in his research. He found that when someone forms even one new healthy habit and genuinely feels successful at it, they naturally begin changing other behaviors too, almost without trying. The reason is that they've started thinking of themselves differently. One small win creates a ripple. That's the cascade effect of identity change in action, which is one of the most exciting things about this process. You don't have to overhaul your entire life to get started. You just have to cast enough votes in one area that your brain starts updating the story it tells about you. This also works in the other direction, and this is the part I really want you to sit with. We've talked before about people who identify as someone who's always too busy to take care of themselves. Here's what I want you to notice about that. Every time you skip your walk because you tell yourself you're too busy, that's a vote too. And every time you take a pass on making dinner at home, that's another vote. A vote for an identity that keeps you stuck. Be intentional about labeling your identity. If your story is, I'm someone who's too busy to take time for herself, every day that story goes unchallenged makes it harder to rewrite. The good news is that you don't need a dramatic overhaul to start shifting the narrative. You just need small, consistent actions that point in a new direction. You don't need to fake it until you make it. You simply practice until your desired identity begins to feel true. Harvard Business School researcher Teresa Amabile and developmental psychologist Stephen Kramer call this the progress principle. I want to do another podcast entirely on this principle. I think their research is fantastic. They found that even small wins significantly influence our motivation and engagement. Progress, when you actually feel it, creates energy. This is the science behind why those tiny votes matter so much, not just behaviorally, but emotionally. Each small win makes the next one more likely. And Carol Dweck would remind us that effort is one of those things that gives meaning to life. Putting in effort means you care about something, that something is important to you, and you're willing to work for it. We deeply value what we work to achieve. Now, one more thing before we talk about your NBA today, and this is important. Becoming someone who makes healthy food choices does not mean becoming someone who makes perfect food choices. Let me be crystal clear about this. BJ Fogg puts it in a way that I think is really worth considering. He says people change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. That's not just a nice thought. It's backed by decades of research looking at real people making real changes. When you beat yourself up every time you get off track, you're not motivating yourself. You're actually making the next healthy choice harder. So the science is on your side when you decide to drop the self-judgment. I personally consider myself a healthy eater, but I don't consider myself a perfect eater. My closest friends and family know that about me. They know I typically do make the healthy choice, but they also know I'm human. They know I'm willing to treat myself occasionally, and they know that I sometimes fall short of my ideal way of eating. I'm not aiming for perfection because that's not a real identity. That's a trap. When behavior stems from identity, setbacks stop feeling like failure. Instead, they simply mark a momentary lapse in your usual way of being, not a reversal into an identity that's no longer yours. If you're someone who prioritizes her health and you eat a slice of birthday cake, that doesn't undo your identity as a healthy eater. Even if you eat 2 slices of birthday cake, you can simply make note. That's not like me to eat cake when it's not my birthday or my kids' or my husband's birthday. And that message helps you get right back on track without any drama, because that's what healthy people do. So here's your NBA for today, your next best action. I want you to finish this sentence for me, either out loud, in your head, or better yet, write it down in your health notebook or journal. I am someone who... Maybe I'm someone who moves my body most days. I'm someone who chooses foods that make me feel good. I'm someone who takes care of herself first so she can show up for everyone else. Write it down. Read it to yourself every day until it's etched into your brain. And then look for one small moment, just one each day, where you can act like that person, where you can cast your vote for the type of person you want to be. Because that's how identities are built, not in a single dramatic decision, but in the small, repeated choices that quietly over time become the most natural thing in the world. You've got this. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.